And we are with Veronica Swift. Veronica, welcome back to the Flower City.
Thank you for having me. It's been a couple years.
Exactly. I was just going to say that. It was like the last time you were here was 2017. So catch us up. What's been going on in your life?
Well, ever since then, I've been on one long tour, pretty much. I had my residency at Birdland for a while, and then I started touring with Bodie and Benny Green, and the record was starting to come out, and Mac Avenue got us, and just a lot of stuff's been happening. Went overseas a bunch, and I do stuff with Winton now, and life is good. I can't complain.
Life sounds pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So take us back 2 years ago. I mean, you're doing your thing. You're, just living the life, singing your music. And just how do you keep yourself centered? Because so much has happened and so many changes so quickly, but yet you're still you.
Well, I have my parents to thank for that. I mean, I grew up doing this. It was a good training for what is to come and what is coming. What keeps me grounded is having that house in Virginia. I'm there 2-3 days a month sometimes, and that's where I'm from, Charlottesville, Virginia. And having the farm to go back to keeps me sane and grounded.
Talk about your parents for a moment, because a lot of times, especially if you have parents who are in the business, the last thing they want their kid to do is follow them in the business because they see the trials and tribulations. How about with your parents?
They weren't pushy in either direction. They just kind of let me go on the path I was meant to be on, and they were exposing me to as many things as they could, not just music. There was one point I wanted to be an architect, so they, gave me house plan books. They were always supportive of anything I wanted to do. And also, they were supportive of other genres I was doing, too. And my mom still is supportive, and, she's my best friend,
So give us an idea of what's it been like with Emmett, and what's a typical set like with you guys?
A typical set? Well, Emmett actually, it's funny, we both, like he was saying to me the other day, we both challenge each other, and for me, I used to be obsessed with doing a lot of charts and arranged stuff. And Emmett's actually had me taking a step back and doing just calling some tunes sometimes. And then we actually play way better that way, too. So, we'll call some standards, classic American songbooks, and maybe some older 20s stuff sometimes, and then some musical theater Broadway songs that I arrange for more, bebop or modern contemporary jazz form.
Cool. Speaking with Veronica Swift. So, Veronica, what have you been checking out these days, inside or outside of jazz?
Well, when I'm listening to jazz, I'm pretty much listening to a lot of the 20s. I try to find the earliest recordings of whatever songs I'm singing.
Why is that?
Well, if I'm listening to the earliest recordings, I find that that's closer to how the song was originally intended to be written. And also once you hear songs passed down through generations, people have their own twists on it. And you want to be inspired by everything, including the original. Sometimes listening to the composers singing their own songs is pretty hip. Or, Gershwin playing his songs. I love those kind of... And also, love heavy metal and opera, always. Marilyn Manson.
Love it. All right. Speaking with Veronica Swift, playing tonight at Montage, 6 and 10 o'clock. Veronica, thanks so much for sharing your music with us.
Thank you for having me.